I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't stay informed. I'm also not here to tell you that you shouldn't take the rational precautions to protect yourself against this virus. But I am here to tell you that everything is going to be okay. So by now we are all familiar with the different steps that the CDC has given us to protect ourselves against the virus. But I feel like there's a whole nother layer of actions that we can take to further protect ourselves from the virus, and that has to do with your mental health. Step number one is to guard the content that you are consuming. If you are consuming a lot of content that is making you feel anxious, depressed, hopeless, terrified, then you need to limit that type of content. Now, of course, we need to stay informed, so I'm not saying to cut it out completely, but just limit the amount of time you spend consuming that content. In this day and age where we're trying to fight this coronavirus, and when we're trying to make sure our immune systems are up to par and where they should be, the last thing we want to do is compromise that immune system, right? You know what compromises your immune system? Fear. Too much of this negative content will instill fear into a lot of people, and fear a lot of times results in panic. And when we are in panic mode, we are less likely to find a solution because we're so focused on the problem. So again, just limit your consumption of anything that leaves you feeling hopeless, anxious, depressed, or what have you. Step number two, if you can, meditate. If you can't meditate, try exercising. Just try to do something to take your mind off of what's going on. Now, when it comes to meditation, I know a lot of people have some difficulties there. But when I first started meditating, I started out with a guided meditation. And specifically, the two meditations that I'm going to link in the description that I think will be great is the first one is just a well-being guided meditation. It's a guided meditation that will remind you that calmness, peace, relaxation is our natural state of being. Being fearful or angry or anxious, what have you, is not our natural state of being. So this meditation will really help you bring yourself back to that core. On top of that, the second one that I'm going to put down in the description is financial abundance. Now, I know with this whole virus and a lot of people are out of work, this meditation will again bring you back to your natural state of being and reminding yourself that everything is going to be okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about finances and things you can do during this time. But this meditation will just bring you to a place where you can say, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but I know this is going to work out. And I won't go too much into it because I will go off on a tangent and you won't get me to stop talking. But when you are able to just be at peace and feel good about things, good things are attracted to you. So these meditations are wonderful. They got me through some tough times. And I know that if you're able to sit down and listen to them, they will do the very same for you. Step number 3, keep in mind that your words have power. I promise you, they have power. I have heard people speak of things that I know that they don't want and they joke about this whole thing just to keep from crying. I understand, we laugh to keep from crying, but my big thing is your words do have power. Now, you might not realize it, but when you speak of things that you don't want, you are inviting them into your experience. So, for example, people have joked and said that, oh, zombie apocalypse or the end of the world, what have you. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, you guys have power. There's power in the tongue. But I know a lot of people will brush that off and say, oh, well, nothing happened. I've spoken this before, X, Y, Z. But when you invite disastrous things into your life, it may not manifest into that exactly, but you might get something similar. It may be something that is just specific to you and your little bubble, but again, you are inviting things that you don't want into your life. So at this point, I refuse to speak anything other than, when this whole thing is over, when this whole thing dies down, That's all I'm speaking. I'm not speaking of anything else because I don't want anything other than this virus dying out and being gone forever, and something that we talk about and something that we say, hey, we beat that. This is what we do. That's it. That's what I want. And that's all I speak. Step number 4. We're all on quarantine, right? We can't leave the house. Now is the time to create. Let's do it. Start that business that you've been thinking of. Start that book. Finish that book. I need to take my own advice on that because I got about 3 of them that I need to finish. But now is the time to create something. Now is the time to become producers instead of just consumers. When you consume more than you produce, you start to become influenced instead of being the influencer. So now is the time to create those things that I was about to say babies, and I probably would have got demonetized immediately. But hey, if that's so, before I get myself in too much trouble, the moral of this step is start that business, start that YouTube channel, learn that new skill, spend more time with family, and just enjoy life. Everything is going to be okay. I promise you. Step number 5 is focus on the solution and not the problem. So what I mean when I talk about that is a lot of people have expressed concerns about finances. Some of us are laid off, some of us are out of a job completely, and we're not really sure where the next check is coming from. So I'm gonna give you this example that came from Think Media TV, and they spoke about a restaurant. I believe it's called Canless Restaurant, but I'm gonna have it somewhere in case I'm mispronouncing it. But this restaurant was a high-end restaurant, right? And they were actually getting hit really hard because people stopped coming in to spend that type of money. So what they did was they pivoted, right? So they decided to they decided to reamp their whole restaurant, even down to their branding, where they went from this super high-end restaurant to producing meals that were more affordable. So they were able to kind of pivot and make things work based on what their customers were able to do. So if you're out of work, or if you have a skill that maybe you had set down and haven't done in a while, maybe this is time to make that pivot and make things work in your favor. There were people that excelled and thrived during the depression and the recession, whatever, both eras. Why can't that be you? That can be you. So don't let this scare you. Everything is going to be okay. You got this. I promise you. Step number 6 is to stay healthy and protect your immune system. So this is also what I spoke of a little bit later, where I said that we have to make sure that our immune systems are up to par and able to battle whatever comes our way. That was one thing that a friend of mine fed to me, and I'm so grateful for him that he said that. But he said, just keep in mind, again, your words have power. He said, keep telling yourself that my immune system is greater than anything that will come at me. My immune system is greater than anything that will come my way. So what can you do to boost your immune system? My favorite has been elderberries. Now what I do is I have a local herbalist shop that I get organic raw elderberries from, and I just make a tea from them. But you can buy elderberry tea from your local pharmacy or what have you. Just check the ingredients to make sure that the ingredients is just elderberries and not a bunch of nonsense that they put into them. Elderberry syrup is awesome as well, but that has been my main line of defense, just to make sure that your immune system is up to par. And in the event that something does happen, it could be something other than the virus. You could come down with a common cold. Having elderberries in your system, or having vitamin C, all your vitamins, and eating a lot of leafy greens will help protect you from anything that will come your way. But I said all that to say that leafy greens, vegetables, fruits, key limes are fantastic. They will make your water alkaline. If you can get a hold of spring water, those things will help you have a wonderful line of defense for anything that comes your way. So those are just my thoughts and what I believe to be the true way that we are going to defeat this virus. If you have any other suggestions, please feel free to share them down in the comments. You may save someone's life, so please share. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please just remember, your words have power. We need your ideas, so don't panic, and everything is going to be okay. I promise you. You got this. Your immune system is greater than anything that will come at you. Y'all take it easy. Stay safe. Peace. If you have any more tips, please feel free to share them down in the description. You can't put them in the description. I gotta do that. What can you do? So what can you do to boost? So what can you do to oh my God. So what can you do to boost? Why can't I say this word? Boost. Why do I keep saying boost? I don't know. I'm Canadian now. Boost. My house. Sorry. So what can you do to boost? Oh my God. So what can you do to boost your immune system? I'm done. Okay.